Hello everyone! We're back with another free-to-play dive, and today it's Tri-brigade Lyrilusc. I did try to make it as budget as possible, so I did put in all the generic loot cards that I have, but I haven't crafted some of the key URs such as the Simorg, which I do recommend that you should if you are going to take this deck to a more competitive level. I do want to talk about a budget Tri-brigade variant of Lyrilusc before showing off the meta Lyrilusc though, because I plan to make the Lyrilusc deck for the Xyz event when it arrives. And I'm not making it just yet, because the Xyz event may have its own ban list, so I'm waiting to see if it does have a different ban list, and I will make my deck according to that. Anyway, back to the Lyrilusc Tri-brigade. This deck can be complex at times, and I am personally still not an expert, at least in the Tri-brigade half of the deck, but I will do my best to explain how to use it on detail, and as always, I will also show you some gameplay so you can have a better understanding. I'll start by explaining the Tri-brigade cards. They all have the ability to allow you to banish some cards from your graveyard to bring out the strong deep monsters from your extra deck, even ignoring some of its summoning conditions. To be able to do that, you'll need to fuel your graveyard first. So Fractal is your starter, and you can send Fractal from your hand to the graveyard, and with its effect you can then send Kit from your deck to the graveyard. Kit also has a similar effect, where it will allow you to send Norval to the graveyard, and then Norval will allow you to add Karas to your hand. And then you can special summon Karas from your hand, and you can do your combo without even normal summoning a single time. Then we have the Lyrilusc cards, which I already explained them in detail in my Lyrilusc video, so click on the card on the top right to see that video if you haven't watched it. But in a nutshell, we are playing 3 copies of the starter Lyriluscs and 2 copies of the extenders. We also play some hand traps such as Nibiru, Ash Blossom, Max C, and a Fate Wailer. You might want to change the Effect Wailer with something else, but since I do own the Access Road line, I didn't want to change the Effect Wailer, since I already had it, and if you don't have the Access Road line, don't bother crafting it for this deck. For the spells, we have some board breakers, including a Forbidden Droplet as well. Then I have some searchers such as Tenchi and Burkroll. Prosperity is also a draw card, although it's not very good in this deck, so if you do have another Burkroll or maybe something else that you can use, you can easily change Pot of Prosperity. I'm also still playing the Birth Sanctuary, because sometimes the standard Lyrilusc combos are good enough to win games. And then we have a Troll by the Grave for hand traps, and then a Tri-brigade Evolve to make a comeback, and it is searchable with Beer Brum, so it can be nice to have. For the extra, we have the Lyrilusc Xyz monsters also explained in my Lyrilusc video. And also Zeus, which can be summoned on an Xyz monster if an Xyz monster is battled that turn, and use 2 materials to send all other cards on the field to the graveyard as a crit effect. You get a strong card overall. I am also playing the Access Road line here, as well as the Nightmare Phoenix, just because they are good generic cards, but you can replace them with cards such as Simorg if you have them, as they are better suited for the archetype. Then we have the Tri-brigade cards such as Perigete, which allows an extra summon and cycles a card when sent to the graveyard. I also do play the Bear Brum, which can search Revolt when sent to the graveyard and recycle banished cards by discarding. Rudel also gives you another special summon. And finally, the boss monster Charade, which banishes a card when it's summoned and when you summon a card from one of the 3 types. But this effect can only be used once per turn. And when it's sent to the graveyard, it allows you to search cards depending on the number of cards you have banished. Finally, a good low rarity addition to this deck is Thrasvo, which can shuffle a monster from your opponent's graveyard back into their deck, and may potentially become 4800 attack too. And now that we're done, let's get into some gameplay. And let's start with our first game. Our opponent is going to open with a Gem Armadillo, adding the Gem Knight to their hand. And they're going to set 1 card and pass the turn back to us. Let's see if we can win this turn. We're going to draw a Raigeki off the top, and we're going to start by activating Fractal's effect, sending it to the graveyard. Then we will send Kit to the graveyard with Fractal's effect, and then activate Kit in the graveyard, which will send Norval to the graveyard, and then activate Norval's effect in the graveyard, which will add Karas to our hands. Then we're going to activate both the Feather Duster and the Raigeki to clear the board. This has been a rather lucky hand. Then we will normal summon Norval and activate its effect to start the combo here. We will choose to banish 2 cards and special summon Fergit.
Then I'll activate Terrace here, and sending the Lyrilusc to the graveyard, I can special summon it from my hand, and then link summon into a Duel. Activate Phaser's effect to cycle a card. We're not really going to need either of it. Then activate Terrace's effect. And banish 3 cards from our graveyard. In order to summon Hrasfeld, and we will activate its effect, sending their card in their graveyard back into their deck, and now that they have no more monsters in their graveyard, Hrasfeld will double its attack points. We can also summon an Access Rod now using the Chalice and the Duel, and that should give us enough damage for game. Access Rod on summon activates and targets a link monster in your graveyard, and gains 1000 attack for each of its link ratings. And then with that, it's going to be enough to end the game. This time we're going first. We're going to start by special summoning the 2-Trice Wobbler, activating this effect to special summon the second one. Then we'll activate Fractal, discarding it from our hand, in order to send Chit to the graveyard again. Now with Chit, we're going to send Norval to the graveyard. And then we'll activate Norval, and since we haven't really normal summoned yet, I'm going to opt to choose to add another Fractal to our hand, and save the Terrace for another time. We will activate Terrace here, banishing 3 cards, and summoning the Hrasfeld. I do like its crit effect quite a bit, so I think it's nice to have it on the board for the first turn if you don't have anything better like Simorg. Then we will also make a Recital Starlink here. Activate this effect to boost Hrasfeld even further, and also search for a card. We will go for a Beryl Tinnery here, so that we can also make the Ensemble Robin with it. Since Beryl Tinnery locks us into HCs, I'm checking my extra deck to see if there's anything else that I can do before I lock myself into HCs. But there doesn't seem to be anything good. So we'll activate the Beryl Tinnery, special summon the 2-Trice Wobbler and itself to the field. Then we will HC summon the Ensemble Robin. We will set the Tri-brigade Revolt and end our turn. This isn't great, but we still do have 2 bounces and the Hrasfeld activation as well. When our opponent special summons a monster, we'll activate the Ensemble Robin to make sure that they don't go into a range 7 HCs. There was under a Dragonfly, and we don't want that sitting around either, so we'll activate Ensemble Robin again, and send that back to their hand. That's all they can do for turn, so let's see if we can end the game. We'll start by activating the Recital Starlink to get another Lyrilusc to our hand. We'll choose for a Spire Swallow so we can summon it and the other Lyrilusc card to our hand, and then activate Cobalt Sparrow's effect to search for another Lyrilusc monster. Ultimately, I will decide for a Beryl Tinnery. We do have a lot of options here, so it is kind of hard to decide what to go for. We will drone to an HC summon and mate another Recital Starlink first. And we'll attach more materials to it from Graveyard and then buff our Vault. I actually did this in the wrong order, where I should have activated the Recital Silence effect chain 1 and then attach the material as chain 2, in which case the attack gain would be greater, but it's not going to end up mattering in this game. Then I will search for a Celestial Wagtail. And then we will summon a Celestial Wagtail. And then we'll make a link 4, a Sure Aid, with our materials. You will activate the Sure Aid to banish their card. And then we'll use Fractal's effect and banish 3 monsters from our graveyard to summon a Link Tree. This is already more than game, so I'm just having fun here at this point and just showing off what the deck can do. I'll activate a Barrel Tinnery and summon a Celestial Wagtail, because we haven't activated the effect of Wagtail this turn. We will grab a Bird Troll. And then we can go into an Assembled Nightingale with these. That's pretty much all I can think of, so we'll just hit into them directly, and this is a lot more than game. And we're done with the gameplay. Now, I know I'm not the best Tri-brigade player, and playing this budget build does certainly make it more difficult for me, since we are missing a few important cards such as the Simort or the Utopic Creator feature with the Utopic Future. But I hope that this video has been helpful nevertheless. If you want to learn more about how to play Tri-brigade, I do have a surprise for you in a future video, where I will be inviting a friend who has just won a Master Duel tournament with Bird Up, and we will talk about his deck, his suggestions to improve, and I'll even show you some of the gameplay footage from the finals match. Furthermore, the HC's event is also fast approaching, and I will be making a pure Lyrilusc deck for that, and that's most likely the video you're going to be seeing next after this one. So there's a lot that you can look forward to, and I'll see all of you in another video.